everybody. I'm gonna have to get my phone set up here. Hang on one second, I'm a little late and I will be putting the, just bear with me one second. Time has just flown by, so give me a minute. I'm trying to get everything set up so I can get my microphone is not working. Let me go in and find the comments so we can get started with that to begin with. And quick note, just to turn on. All right, I'm reading my comments that's coming through. Okay, give me just a second. I got my phone in here. All right, so now we should be live. I got to go back to my cameras, and I need to fix my. Hang on a second. I got to go back. Where's my cameras? Camera. I'm trying to get my microphone. It was charging, and then all of a sudden it didn't charge. All right, so let's see how this goes. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Give me a second. If y'all are out there, let me know. Say hi. I don't have the comments where I can see them just yet. But give me a minute. I just need to plug this thing into my phone to see if I can get my microphone to work. And we'll see what happens here. All right, let's see. Okay, we have a microphone. Woohoo, that's a good thing. Let me flip my cameras around. Get everything organized. Okay. All right, I went into the bathroom to put my lipstick on, and I'm gonna put this on my necklace because Tuesday night somebody said they could not hear me, so I'm gonna clip it right there. So it might look funny, but you know, whatever, it's okay. I'm gonna clip it on if I can see it. There we go. It might look goofy, but that's okay. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me. Now let me get back to the comments, see if anybody's out there. Hi, Karen. Oh, mic work. Okay, I had to plug it in, but it wasn't showing. Anyways, we're here. We're here. Yay. How you doing? So I've got it plugged. Do you like this? It's the new necklace. So, oh my gosh. I'm hating this hot weather. I'm telling you. Good morning, Patty. How's Marilyn? Patty, Karen's on. She's on YouTube. Patty's on Facebook. Patty has been on my team, and she lived in the Villages. Back when I lived in the Villages, that's how we met. And then she moved to Maryland, her and her mom. Her sister was having a baby, so they wanted to be closer to the baby. And then we moved down here to Fort Myers. So now we're way far away. And Patty loves Riley, and she came down, her and her mom, to Fort Myers. I think the first year we moved here, and visited with one of their friends. And then they took Riley because we were going out of the country. And they took Riley to watch. She went back to the Villages, and they stayed there for a week. And then I picked Riley up. So it was we've always had such a good time. Anyway, so okay, let's give it. Oh well, it's 11:35, so we'll get started here. So let me go do my introduction for those that may be watching but not letting me know that they're out there. So for those that don't know me, welcome. I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I've been doing this a little over 12 years. And I am coming to you live from Fort Myers, Florida, where it is hot and humid. It's probably 95, 96 degrees today. Every morning I get up, this is what the weather lady says. My husband asked Alexa, it's 80 degrees outside. This is at 6 in the morning. 80 degrees outside, and he'll say, what's the winds? The winds are point blah, 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 with, you know, whatever. And then he'll go, is it going to rain today? And she says, yes. It might, 51% chance of rain around 7 o'clock this evening. It's the same thing for the last several days. It's just crazy, but it's okay. All right, so welcome. A couple of things. Don't forget, we are in the midst of bonus days. So for every $50 you spend, you get a $5 coupon from Stampin' Up. You'll need to keep that code because they will not replace it. And that runs through the end of July. I am also going to be running my BOGO. Hang on, let me find it here. I'm going to put my retired stuff on sale. And the way we're going to work it, it's going to be on a BOGO page that I've had set up for years. So I will invite those of you to join. And it's going to start Friday, not this Friday. Yeah, Friday coming up, the 26th at 1 o'clock. We have our technique class from 12 to 1. So I'm hoping to have all of the photo albums and everything uploaded. Oh, she's there. So Friday through Monday the 20th, so it's going to start Friday the 26th about 1 o'clock, and then Monday the 29th, it probably could run through the next morning, midnight the next morning. The whole idea is that I wanted to make sure that y'all got in so you could get your $5 coupons. And I have an information sheet. When you'll see the post, it will give you a link to go to an information sheet. We'll tell you how exactly it's going to work. But basically, you will state, when you look at my retired stuff, you're going to make a comment that's sold with your name. Of course, I should have your email address. And then once that's done, you need to make a list of that. And then there's a form that you will fill out and submit to me. I will check to make sure all of the items that you want are available. So I'll pull those off the shelf, put your name on them. I'm going to send you an invoice for the shipping. So depending on how many items, it could be, it's going to be priority mail. So it would be either $9 or $15, depending on how much you buy. I can get quite a bit into a padded envelope, but if I have to go to a medium-sized box, those are the ones that are $15. And then once you've gotten the okay for me with your invoice, then you can go ahead go to my Stampin' Up store, and I'll have a link with a host code that you'll need to use. And you will place that equal order. So let's just say you order $100 in my retired stuff, then you need to place a minimum of $100 before shipping and tax for any new items through the catalog. And it can be it could be stuff on the clearance rack, whatever you need. You can also buy stuff, like kits that you think would make gifts for people or whatever, but you'll need to spend the same amount. So basically what you're doing is you're spending that much money in my online store, and I'm giving you my retired stuff at no cost, because buy one, get one, okay? Normally, if you go to look at my Etsy store, and the stamps are all going to be one price, bundles will be one price, dies will be one price, and then miscellaneous stuff will be varied. So that way, stamps will all be, I don't know if it's 45 or 40, I can't remember what I have them priced at. But if you look at my Etsy store, most of the bundles are $50, $52 to $54. Stamps, I think I've got them, just a basic stamp set will all be, I think they're all going to be for $25. And then, of course, paper will be whatever, I'll probably mark those based on how many pieces are in a pack and all that good stuff. So be aware of that. That's going to be on my Shall We Stamp BOGO page, and I'll send out a link to everybody so that you can get to it. And that's that. So that's going to start Friday the 29th. Okay, with that said, let me flip the camera down. I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. And just to put out just one more thing, sorry guys. If you are new to my channel, or if you've been watching and you haven't, if you're on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and click that bell. What that will do, it will, one, help me build my followers, and two, that it will let you know each time I upload a new video. And if you're on Facebook, and if you have any crafty friends and you want to share my video with them, then you can do that as well. And that just goes and helps in these crazy algorithms that Facebook is using when they are putting everybody's face in front of other people. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm flipping the camera down, and we are going to look at our template today. All right, so we are doing, hang on, I gotta fix my camera because I didn't have a chance to get that fixed. Oh wait, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, I think we're good. I don't think I need to change it. Karen, are you back? Are you losing me? Or are you just, okay. All right, so this is the sketch that we're going to do, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that we can do this. And the whole idea of these sketches is when you're kind of stumped and you know, trying to make a card and you can't figure out any, you're tired of making the same old, right? So the sketches are to help give you a place to start, and it doesn't have to be exactly like this, but it kind of gives you a place to start and go, oh yeah, I could do that. And then you'll see kind of what I've done with this template and how I've changed it up some. So, and I'll give you the measurements as we go because I've got them written on the back of this. But you're going to have two pieces here, and I only listed one. You're going to have a piece, and you don't have to, but I've got mine layered on a piece of white or another piece of cardstock, and that's going to be at 1 inch by 4.5. And this is if you're going in the portrait mode. So 1 inch by 4.5. And then if you do your designer paper, then you're going to cut that down to 1 1/8. So 1 1/8. I'm sorry, pardon me. I see I've already got it wrong. It's 1 1/4 by, let me stop and start all over again. I am sorry. It's 1 1/4 by 4.5. 1 1/4. So I wrote 1. It's 1 1/4. Let me change that. So that's why I have to write my notes. All right, so they're going to be 1 1/4 wide. Right, 1 1/4. Let me just put here 1 1/4 by 4.5. Okay, and that's each one. That's for the cardstock by 4.5. This is, I'm going to put 1 1/4. Sorry, by 1 1/4 by 4.5, and this is cardstock. Okay, cardstock. Then your designer paper, I'm going to put over here, DSP, will be at 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, and that's going to be, so you have just a little bit of a lip so that you can see. All right, and then now if we're going to go, we're going to do landscape, and I'll give you those once we get to the landscape. This piece here is 2.5, hang on, 2, cardstock, where are we? Okay, the cardstock, if you want to do a different color, is 2 5/8. So I'm going to put cardstock here, 2 5/8 by 3, 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. And then your basic white, if you want to do that, will be at 2.5, because we're going to take 1/8 off. 2.5 by 3.5. Okay, if you can read my numbers, and let me zoom in just a little bit so y'all can look at that. All right, so your cardstock, if you're going to do a border or a piece behind your designer paper, is going to be 1 1/4 by 4.5. There's 3 pieces that you're going to do. Then the designer paper is going to be cut at 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then this is where you're going to do your sentiment or picture or flowers or whatever it is that you want to do. So the cardstock, the black line piece, would be 2 5/8 by 3 5/8, and then the white piece would be 2.5 by 3.5. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now, the first one, because I didn't make the cards, I made one, and I did this one in the landscape mode. So if you're going to do landscape, it's going to go like this, right? So this is going to be, I'm going to write here landscape. So this is what your pieces are going to, now I got to turn this over. The pieces are now going to be, you're going to fold your card. Okay, this one, your base, if you're doing portrait, is 8.5 by 5.5. Okay, the usual 1 5.5. Okay, now when we do our landscape, it's going to be 4 1/4 by 11. All right, so that means our cardstock pieces are going to be cardstock, let me see, 4 5/8 by, no, that's not right. Yeah, landscape. They're going to be 4, wait a minute, hang on. Oh, you're going to put a basic white. If you want to put a border behind it, but I'm doing a basic white. So your basic white's going to be 4 by 5 1/4, right? So then the designer paper will be 4.5 by 1 inch, and you'll do 3 of those. And then you'll do 3 of the cardstock. If you want to put a piece of cardstock, again, we're going to drop it. We'll go up a notch. So that's going to be 4 5/8 by 1 1/8. And then depending on your sentiment or what you want to do, then you'll just do it accordingly. Okay, so that's really going to be dependent on what type of design you're going to do. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to do the first one. This is what I did. Okay, so keep in mind, this is our template, right? So I'm going to put it, this one's in the landscape mode. So see how we're going to do like that. So this is the card that I made. This is using the new Magnolia Mood stamp set. And the back side of one of the zinnia, flowering zinnia papers, which are beautiful. And I think we used one of those a week or so ago. So I just used the back side, stamped the sentiment, the magnolia, colored it in, and then you open it up, and I just stamped a little note at the top, and then we stamped the flower. Okay, so we're going to do 2 landscapes, and the only reason we're doing 2 in landscape is because I cut the other one the wrong way, so that's what we're doing. And I'll show you that one. I haven't created the card. I just know what I'm going to do. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to get started. I'm going to move this out of the way. If you've just started or just joining us, I will put this piece of paper back on at the end if you want to take a look at it. I know the green is really pretty. This is on Mossy Meadow cardstock. So, all right, so we're going to come in. Now, this is what this is the zinnia, but it's leaves on the one side. I was going to do the leaves, but I thought the lines looked better. And this is Mossy Meadow with lemon lime twist, I think is what it is. So, all right, so we're going to 4 1/4 by 11, and then we're going to score this or fold it in half at 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and get that done. If I can get my little fingers in here. All right, and then we're going to come in with our bone folder. I'm going to get it creased first, and we're going to give it a good crease. Now, if you're wondering what these pieces of paper are, these are trying to see the light. I'm trying to hold it so it keeps that light so it's not shining through. Okay, so we're going to do this. Now, you can do the landscape. You can do it this way, right? Like a book type thing, where it opens like that. Let me bring the camera. Hang on a second. I'm going to go out with the camera. Whoops, I don't want to come in. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, so we're going to do it. You can do it like this, but I'm going to do it like this, so it's kind of like a longer book. All right, so we're going to lay this here. Now, I'm placing, before I glue this down, I've got a basic white of 4 1/4. I'm sorry, 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to have one for the inside and then one for the top. All right, so we're going to take our, oh, hang on, I'm missing pieces of my stuff. I need to have my, hang on a minute, what happened to my, oh, here they are. They've slid all over the table. Hold on. Hang on a minute. Oh my gosh. I've got 1, 2. I have one piece. I've lost my other piece. Oh wait, there's the other piece. All right, now I need one more piece. All right, I got my 3. Where's my white? Hang on a minute. Where's my white pieces? Oh my goodness. I wonder if I took them out. This is the short. Is this the same? Hang on a minute. Oh, you know what? I might have stuck them up because they were sitting off to the side. I might have stuck. Yep, that's one of them. Give me a second. Let me find my other one. I must have stuck them up at the top. I sure did. Okay. Whew, you can tell it's a Saturday. All right, so actually, I'm not using the white. What am I thinking? Because we are going to place them on the white base, so we're not going to put a background behind them. So I'm just going to lay these on here. I'm eyeballing it. If you are a little bit more like a perfectionist, then that's okay. Just line them up and get them even. And try to get enough, space between them. Make sure they're straight. Of course, the lines make it look a little crooked. So just do the best you can. See, that's why I put those whites back there, because I don't need the white paper. The other ones I do, but this one I don't. Okay, so I'm going to adjust these, but it kind of gives me an idea of where I want to put my my leaves. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add some adhesive to this. Let me bring in my silicone mat here. Okay. All right, so we're going to add this. All right, so we're going to start at the top. And you start whatever works for you. I always start at the top and I just work my way down, because that's why I place them on here, because I want to make sure that I leave enough room to get my bottom one lined up as well. Some people will do the bottom one next and then put the middle one in, but I think I'm good, because this way I can move the bottom one if I need to. So let's go ahead and add some adhesive to this. And again, these are very easy cards, but sometimes we need to take a break from making all the fancy cards and just get back to kind of like the basics. So I thought, well, this is a good way. You can use up scraps if you want, if you have scrap papers running around. They're not running, they're laying there. But if you have scrap paper laying around, this is a great way that you can use up those scrappy pieces, right? And you can mix and match. If you're using the Stampin' Up! Products, you should not have a problem with mixing and matching. So I can move this one down just a little bit. All right, I think that's going to look fine. And I'm not worried about this because this is going to be covered up by my other thing, okay? All right, now we're going to come in, and before we do anything else, we've got to color and stamp our image. So I'm going to stamp the flower from the magnolia. And this is a really nice stamp set. I'm going to stamp, this is the inside that's going to go inside the card. Let me get my camera. I don't know, hang on a second. Let me adjust my camera some. Nope, hang on. All right, let me push back. Hang on one second. I'm going to make sure I'm in the camera. Nope, I got to come closer, that's why. Hang on, I know I'm jiggling things around. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stamp this on the inside of the card, that little flower, and we're going to color these with our Stampin' Blends. I forgot to wet my chamois, but it's still wet, so it should work. All right, and then we're going to come in with the big Mama Jamma here, the big stamp. This is the magnolia, and because it's large, then I'm going to just leave it upside down, and I'm just going to come around and walk my ink pad on the areas that need to get the ink. And sometimes you have to kind of do some pouncing on it to make sure that those little lines in here are little, sometimes they don't always get the ink on them, so you just want to make sure you've got enough ink everywhere. And I think that's pretty good. All right, so we're going to put that there. Now, when I stamp on my white piece, then we will, where did my little white piece go? Here we go. Now, this is the smaller piece, so this, keep in mind, is not going to fit the entire, it's going to fit almost of the stamp. Hi, Carrie. How are you? From Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Welcome. We're just getting started. We're doing a sketch, and I'll show you that in just a minute. This is the first part we're doing, and we're starting out doing a landscape card. So this is Magnolia Mood. So I am just going to stamp this. Let me get a scrap piece of paper. Hang on a second. I can stamp it on my craft board. I don't know. I just have this thing about. I don't have to wipe it up while I'm working here. All right. So I'm just going to stamp as much as I can on this 2.5 by 3.5 piece of white cardstock. So some of it may come off, some of it may not. So, but that's okay because that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to stamp it on here. Let it sit for just a second. Make sure we've got our ink dispersed. And then I'm just going to lift it up, and there we go. All right. Now we're going to come in with our Stampin' Blends, and we're going to do some quick coloring. And I am using the Mossy Meadow, since that's what we're using for our card base. And I'm also going to use our medium light 700 is the number, and that's where I'm going to do some shading on the flower itself. I looked up magnolias, and I wanted to see exactly what color. I knew they were white, but I knew they had a little bit of a beigey type look to them, so that's why I'm putting that little pink, this kind of like a skin color. It's a real light, like a beige. So I'm going to start out with my dark Mossy Meadow, and I am going to come through where all of the dark lines are with the leaves, and I'm just going to come in and just kind of just cover what the ink, the black ink has done. And I know it sounds funny because you probably won't see it, but you will once we add the lighter shade. And I'm just going to come in and not going to do too many of these lines here, but we do want to get a little bit of that ink in the leaf itself. So I'm just going to turn these around and just do the Mossy Meadow on the dark part, which is the dark. And then I'm going to come in with this area and just do a few of the lines, and I might do a little bit of the shading right here like what they've done, and the same thing here. This one I'm going to do in the center, and a little bit here with the dark. And I'm not an expert when it comes to the to using these markers, so I learn just like y'all do. So I might tell you something that might be different than somebody else, who knows. All right, so I'm just going to come back in again and just do these little dark areas. And then we'll come back and fill in with the light. But I just want to get a little bit of the lines highlighted. Let's see, we got one more here. So let's do this guy. I'm going to kind of go in here and around. And I'm just going to outline the dark spots again. and the little vein there, and then we'll just do a couple. Okay, now I'm going to come back with my, whoopsie, let me do this one right here. I'm just going to do a little bit right here on that little flower bud. Okay, now we're going to come back in with the light, and I'm using the smaller tip, coming back with the light Mossy Meadow. So I'm just going to come in and fill in this area that's white. So you will see some difference in the coloring with our light and the dark. And I'm just going to keep turning just to make it easier for me for the coloring aspect of it. Now you can leave some white showing if you want to make it look like maybe the light that's hitting the petal, however that may be, or your leaf. Okay, so we are just going to color away, and you can see how nice of a contrast this does to these leaves, right? Isn't that pretty? All right, so I think that's good right there. Okie doke. Hey Marcia, how are you? We're working on our template, and I'll show you that in just a few minutes when I get done here. Now I'm going to pull in this number. It's the medium light 700, so it's another one of our Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to come in and do some shading, just like I've done here. And I'm going to just come in here and just color this little blotch right there. And then I'm just going to come in where the darker areas are. That's what I'm going to just do the highlighting on. So I'm just going to come in and kind of highlight these areas here and just try to give it some color. Since it's blooming, they should have a little bit of color to them. And then we're just going to go around and do the same thing. So I'm just going to take this and go through the areas that I feel like they need to have a little bit of this color. And again, we're all learning, so that's what we're doing. All right, and then this one, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just kind of going over where the artist has made these the little lines to give us some idea, to give it life, to give it like veins of the plant. And then I'm just going to come in and highlight with this beige type color, if you will. So I'm just going through all these little dark areas. And it really does make a difference when you color. I was going to leave it black and white. And then when I did this, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to leave it black and white. This looks really pretty. So it just gives it a highlight. I tell you who is a great person that does the coloring is the guy. He's from the UK. It's Mitso Crafts or something like that. Those guys are amazing. If you want the exact name, let me know if you're not familiar with them. And I will post it because he is just amazing with his coloring techniques. And he also does some coloring classes, if you will, on how to use how to highlight and low light and all this stuff and give it depth. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing what this guy knows. All right, so I'm just coming in and just trying to give these little guys some life here. And then we'll color down there. I think gotta get this one here. Sometimes you got to take a step back and look, see what you might have missed, right? And I see what I missed over here. I missed our little flower. So we're going to go ahead and just add a few little strokes on this guy. All right, and we'll do a little bit right here on the edge. All right, so there's our flower. Isn't that pretty? I just think this is just, I love magnolias. We used to have a set, I don't know, it might have been a couple of years ago, and I really liked that set, and then they retired it, and I was like, sad. You know how we get sad when we like something and they retire it, right? Okay, so there's our magnolia that we've covered, and I think colored, and I think that turned out pretty nice, actually. So now I'm going to pop this down on my Mossy Meadow. Now the white is 2.5 by 3.5, so the Mossy Meadow is going to be the white's going to be 2 3/8 by 3 3/8, if I'm not mistaken. So just a little bit shorter so that you can get it and have just a slight border. All right, so let's go ahead and add this down to our Mossy Meadow piece. Get my glue to come out. All right, and then we'll pop that on here. Let me move my paper out of the way. I was trying to hide the lights with my with my vellum. Vellum, if you do videos, Vellum is your friend when it comes to trying to hide your lights that are reflecting off the desk. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Now we're going to add some dimensionals to the back because we're going to pop this guy up on the front of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply. I like to put the 4 corners with my dimensionals, and then like 2 that are a little bit more inward. And then I've said this before, if you use take your pick tool, but I always put my thumbnails down in it, and then it's just easier for me to pop them up and take them off. It just pops them up for you, it lifts them. So all you have to do is grab it and you're good to go. All right, and then we're going to take, this is our piece. So again, we're doing this in the landscape mode. And I'll bring out the template in just a minute for those that just joined. All right, so we're gonna pop this right about there. That should be pretty even, I think. All right, and I could have added this first, but it really doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and we're gonna add this to the front of the card. And then we're gonna do 2 more cards because they shouldn't take that long. These are pretty easy cards. So this is just another way to help you if you're kind of stuck and trying to figure out something to do that's different. And it's a great thing to do to use up all of your scraps. All right, so we're gonna lay this on the front. This is Mossy Meadow, cut at 4 1/4 by 11. And we're going to get this on here. And I'm gonna just try to get it centered. Isn't that pretty? All right, and then the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to add some of our 2325 ink color dots. These were from last year, actually. And I'm using the gold, which is the wild wheat. I just think it goes better with these colors. So let me get my paper snips. I use my paper snips to lift everything. So they always tell you when you're doing embellishments to do in numbers of 3 or 5. So this one I'm going to change it up. We're going to put 1 over here. You always want to keep the odd numbers. I'm not sure why, but that's what they say, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll just put 2 smaller ones over here. All right, so we'll just put that. Let's see, we'll put him right about, yeah, let's do it kind of angled. All right, and then the last thing we need to do is add our piece of the inside, but we need to color this one too, right? Because we don't want this one to go in there and not be colored. I think I did color it. Yeah, I did. So let's color this one real quick because we want it to look pretty, right? So whoever gets this card is just going to be so thrilled. All right, so we're just going to I'm just going to go over the dark with my dark Mossy Meadow. And this is the Stampin' Blend. Do that on our, and I might do just a little bit here. I don't want to take up too much room because I don't want to take that away from the light color. And then we'll come in with the light Mossy on the leaf. Get that on there. And then we're going to use that number 700. And again, we're just going to kind of highlight the lines around the flower, which just gives it a nice look, doesn't it? I'll just do a little bit there, put some here. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of highlighting here. Just coloring over those dark spots that the artist has created. And look at that. Changes it all up from a plain Jane to a fancy card. All right, so we're going to move these out of the way. We're going to add this to the inside of our card. And then when we get ready to send it out, we will, look at this guy, he doesn't want to cooperate again. Then we will put our sentiment or write a message or whatever. Depends on what mood I'm in or where it's going. I do cards for soldiers, so I always leave the insides blank, so that gives them plenty of room so they can write their own message. I always put something on the front of the card and they can do the rest themselves. All right, so we're going to put that right about there and pull it down just a tad because he's a little crooked. At least from what I can see, it looks like I cut my paper crooked, doesn't it? Looks like I was drinking. Well, that's what we're doing. Let's see if we can make this look like it's even up top, and then the bottom can be crooked, and then we don't have to worry about it. All right, so there's our first card. Oh, you see what you missed? All right, so this is the card using this template. Now let me show you all the template for those that just joined. All right, this is my template and I've scribbled all over it. So this is in portrait mode. And when I was designing last night, I did the card, I wanted to do the card in landscape, so I've done it in the landscape mode as well. So this is the base on portrait. So if you're gonna do landscape, your pieces of designer series paper will be 4.5 by 1 inch, and you'll do 3 of those. And then, you know, again, this is 2.5 by 3.5, and then you can just put your piece underneath. All right, so now we're going to do another one that's going to be in this mode. Don't ask me why I did it, but I did 2 in landscape. Not sure why I did, but I did. Okay. Oh, you know what? What did I do? Hang on a second. Did I put anything? No, I did not. Okay. I'm not sure why I have this over here. Oh, this is for my other card. All right, let's do another landscape, and then we'll move into a portrait one. We'll save that one for last. All right, let me move this out of the way. Move that out of the way. Okay, this is boho blue. Now, I am using the Countryside paper that carried over from last catalog. That is the one of the papers that carried over. We had 4 that carried over. Now, this one, yeah, I think this is going to be, yeah, this is going to be in the landscape. We're going to do it this way. All right, so this piece of this cardstock here was cut at 4.25 by 11, so we're doing it like that, right? This one is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to do it instead of like a book. We're going to do it this way with it opening towards the top. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now we've got 3 of our white pieces that I'm going to adhere these pieces of, which I've already given you the measurements. These are what did I say? Let's see. Where's my all right, so the designer series paper is about 1 1/8 inch, and then this is going to be 4 1/4, and then this is 4 3/8. So we're going to do 3. You're going to have 3 sets. So I'm going to go ahead and add the adhesive to these. All right, this is the paper that has the bunnies, the real pretty flowers. It's got the bunnies and all the different colored blues. I don't know why all of a sudden this thing doesn't want to cooperate. Hang on. Hold on. It's got ink in it. It just doesn't want to come out as fast as I want it to. So let's just, we don't want to be here all day. Because I know it's Saturday, and if any of you are at work, you don't want to be sitting around watching me all day. So we'll go ahead and add these on here. And hang on. Get that on there, and then we'll slide it. The nice thing about the green glue is it does allow you to adjust it as needed, so you can get them placed the way you'd like them. All right, so this card will be a little bit different because we're not going to put a white base down on the card front because we're using the extra cut strips. So this will give us a little bit more of the cardstock color shining through, or showing through, I should say. And so we'll just put these on here. Again, we'll get those lined up, and then I have to pick it up. Oopsie, I've got to pick it up to move my paper so I can see it at an angle. I hope y'all, is there a glare? I hope not. So I got enough time that I can move this and get it adjusted so it looks like it's straight. And oops, this one looks like he's crooked. Okay, this looks good with that one. Okay. And you know what, as you all know, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you will know that I don't try to be a perfectionist. I let it go. I feel like it's a homemade card, and whoever gets this is just happy they got a card in the mail, right? So if you don't send out cards, I highly encourage you to start doing so. I send out birthday cards, anniversary cards, get well cards, thinking of you cards, and just because you never know what kind of day somebody's having, right? So anyways, all right, so there's that. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to lay these down on here, and we're going to line these up just like I did with the other one. So I'm going to do mine. I lay them in here, and I can see that my white's a little bit longer over here. I'm not going to stress about that. Some of you may, because you are perfectionist, and that's okay, but I'm not going to do that. So these, actually I got my papers a little too big. Look at that, my whites are a little, we're not gonna have as much space between these as I did with the other ones. But that's right, it'll work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this. All right, so I'm going to tell y'all while I'm doing this. Miss Riley, the dog, for those of you who have been watching me, I bought her for the golf cart because she always wants to stand up, right? And she's getting older and she's got some issues with her leg and all this other mess. So I bought her a little car seat for the golf cart. Let me tell you, it's nice and padded. I will post a picture this afternoon so y'all can see it. And Patty will appreciate this. So she got in her little seat, and let me tell you, she got right there and sat, and then she laid down. It was so comfy. Normally she wants to stand up in the golf cart so she can see everything going on. Well, she can see laying down, right? She was she laid down, had her little head there, and I took a picture of her. She looked so damn happy. I tell you what, that dog's so spoiled, but gotta love them, right? Okay. So anyways, it's cute. I bought it online. It was only like $20. It doesn't, I mean, it's designed for a car, but it's small enough for, you know, for the golf cart. Let me pull some of this off of this. Hang on a second. I got goo on my tip of my glue. But anyways, so she, it's got straps to go around the seat, like around the headrest and then around the other part of the seat. Of course, in the golf cart, we've got a bucket seat in the front, so I don't have that. But I've tied it around the back and everything. So she just absolutely loves it. I swear to God, the dog is so spoiled. So anyways, I'll post a picture. But she loves her new seat. She didn't even try to stand up in the golf cart. She just laid there and said, "Okay, take me where you want me to go." All right, so I've got my pieces on here. Now, the next thing I'm doing, I'm not even sure what I'm doing, to be honest with you. I'm going to do this as a thank you card. So I'm using the boho blue cardstock. And this is, again, for those that are just joining, this is to keep my light from shining through. All right, and I'm going to put this on a base. And the cardstock is 3 5/8 by 2 3/8. And then the white is 3 1/2 by 2 1/2. So we're going to stamp a thank you. I haven't done too many thank you cards, and I think that's what we're going to do. And I don't know if I'm going to no, we're not going to use that for this card. So let me get my ink. All right, so we're doing boho blue. Now this is a thank you from, and I'm pretty sure this is still active, the Good Feelings stamp set. It's got 6 larger stamps, sayings if you need, and it's got hip hip and then hooray, and they're the red rubber. So that's what we're going to use today. I'm going to make this a thank you card, and then we're going to decorate the front just a little bit. I am going to make a thank you card, and then I'll put some little bedazzles and stuff around it. Actually, I'm going to put some ribbon, so I might need to flip this over. Hang on. No, I think that'll work. I was going to add a little bit of ribbon to it. Maybe tie a little bow. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. Okay, let me move my ink out of the way. And, well, actually, I'm going to stamp the inside with just a note to let you know you are loved. No, I don't want that in there. Never mind. That's what I was going to put inside the Magnolia one, but that's okay. We won't use that. That's part of the Magnolia set anyways, in case you are wondering. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to cut some ribbon, and we're going to just, I'm just going to eyeball my measurements here. I don't know if we're going to put a piece of, well, we might make a cheater bow, and let's see. We'll see how that goes. Let's bring in our seal. I like to use the seal because it helps to hold the ribbon in place, and it doesn't, it's a hard, it's a stickier. So I just take a piece, and I lay it down. Which way do I want? I lay it down here so it holds on to it. And then just, then roll it over. And this is just an easy way. And then just tape it down on the back side. And then if you need to tighten it, you can tighten it. All right. Now, if I want to have a bow in here, maybe we'll do that. Let's make a little bow. All right, I'm going to cut a piece just about like that. It's probably too big. I'm going to take a bow. You just slide it under your piece right here, right? And then just tie. You're just going to tie, just fold this under. And then if you pull one of the sides, let me get it where I want it. if you pull the right and take your left hand and kind of pull it up, you'll get more of a square knot. And then just pull it tight. That's all you have to do. And then just take your paper snips, and we're going to trim that so it has a little tail. And there you go. Now we have a bow on our card. So let me move this piece. This one's up a little bit higher. Now I got glue. I got fuzzies stuck to my fingers. All right, this one we're going to move it up because this one's other end is a little bit higher. There we go. I think that looks good. What do y'all think? I think it's a little tight because it's pulling. So let me loosen this again. Let me just loosen it up just enough so it doesn't feel like it's too tight. There we go. I think that looks good. And then we'll add some embellishments. All right, so then all we'll do now is take this and we're going to add it. Let me move this out of the way with all my scrap paper on it. We're going to add it to the front of this. So we're going to do some multi-purpose glue. Put that there. All right, and then we're going to apply that on here. And if the bow is popping up that ribbon right there, we'll just take a glue dot, or you can use your seal, whichever is easier. We're just going to take a glue dot, and I'm going to glue it once I get a hold of it. Hang on. So I'm going to take the glue dot. I'm going to put it right underneath where you can't see where the ribbon is holding on to it. That way it kind of holds it flat. Okay, and it's kind of hidden with that thing right there. All right. So that's one way that you can keep that from looking like you've got something, and we'll just tighten that down. All right, and then we're going to take this, and again, we're going to pop it up on the front of our card with dimensionals. So let's bring those back in, and go ahead and add those. And then we have one more card, and that's going to be the portrait card, which is what the design was designed for, the sketch. But that's okay. All right, put your thumbnails down, and we're going to lift them up. Peel them off, and if you have take your pick tool, use that. I don't know, for some reason when I try to poke mine and use it, I haven't been proficient at that. And then I'm going to lay this again just like the other time. I'm going to put it in the center. Now it looks like a plain Jane there. And we're going to add this to the inside of our cards. Let's do that, and then I'm going to add some embellishments on the front. I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside. I'll do that later when I get ready to mail it out. All right, so we're just going to place this right here, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, basic white. All right, and then I'm going to pull in those dots again, and we've got the blue. So let's pull in some of the blue. We're going to be all blue, blue, blue. We're going to keep it tone on tone. So I'm going to just do the same thing. I'm going to just take one of the larger ones, and I'm just going to try to fill in this space here because it does look a little naked, right? And then they have medium size. Let's do a medium. Let's do a medium. Let's put it down here. Let's put it right about there. We'll do a medium there, and then let's do a small. And we'll put that like right about here. There we go. All right, so there's our card. Another landscape mode using that template. So again, another way you can do it, different look to it. All right, okay, and then the next one, I haven't made the card yet. This is the one that I'm using the paper from the Flowering Zinnias, and this is that flower. The flower paper. This is gorgeous. I'm sure you all have seen it. If you haven't, you need to buy this stuff. It is absolutely, I just love it. Stunning, stunning, stunning. So there's a lot of colors in here. You've got Flirty Flamingo, you've got Lemon Lime Twist, you have Peach Pie, Melon Mambo, Blackberry Bliss, Mossy Meadow, I think it's Petal Pink maybe, I'm not sure. And I think that's it. Oh, and then this is probably Highland Heather, if I'm not mistaken, the purple one. So this is going to go, we're going to do our envelope on this card. All right, so this is an 8.5 by 5.5. So we're going to score that at 4 1/4 or fold it in half. And then we will give it a good burnish with our bone folder. And then this one, we are actually going to do it based on what the template says, our sketch, which is going to be in the portrait mode. Okay, so I have cut, look at that, I've cut them wrong. Wait. Those, you know what, did I do that? No, I didn't. This is right, because they're going this way. Okay, so I'm using the lemon lime twist, and I'm going to add the cardstock. And I had this, I thought this was really cute once I glue these on here. I like the way that these two, even though they're different colors, I wanted to put these flowers next to each other. And then this one, or actually I might change it up and move him over here and put the blue, the purple. So that's what we're gonna do. I don't know if I like that one or the other one. I think I kind of like the pink, this one. I think I like this one over here. And it really doesn't matter, right? Because it's whatever. I think those two go together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Let's glue these down. And then I'll bring back in the sketch for those that have just joined. Let me move my stuff out of the way. Not that you don't know how to glue paper, but I don't want to be out of the camera. This is the back side of this paper. It's peach pie with the lemon lime stars. Isn't that pretty? So it's kind of a generic. You can use that really for anything that you want to celebrate. And then we're just going to lay this on this lemon lime twist. Place that there. I'm going to let that sit for a second. Move him over here. And then we're going to glue this, do the same thing for the next two. You don't need a whole lot of glue. And of course you want to stay away from the edges if at all possible, so you don't have your glue oozing out. All right. And we'll put that one there. Isn't this pretty? I was going to do, I thought about using a different color for the back, and I just really like the lemon lime twist with these colors. I just think it really pops, and it's just gorgeous. I did not buy the stamp set. A lot of times I just get the paper, and then I use what stamp set I have for sentiments and stuff, but this is really, really beautiful paper. So if you haven't taken advantage of this, you probably need to do that too. And now is the time to spend some money, because we're in bonus day, so you'll get $5 coupon from Stampin' Up! Every time you spend $50. And so for those that just joined, I'm going to be running a BOGO of my retired stuff on Friday the 26th and run it through Monday the 29th. So for you spend whatever you purchase in my my store, my retired stuff, then you'll get that free once you place an order through my online store for some Stampin' Up! Products. And I'll have all of the information of the links of where you go to look at the instructions, how it's going to work, what you have to do, and then the link to go to the store to make your purchase. And then I will send you an invoice. You don't order until you get the invoice from me to make sure all the items were available. And you're going to pay the shipping, which is either going to be $9 or $15, depending on how many products you purchase, and that is priority mail. And right now what I'm doing as I'm talking, I'm just trying to set these up to see where I need to lay them down at, so I can get them spaced out pretty much. And I do kind of like those two together. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, so I'm gonna start from the left side, and everybody has their ways of how they do things, so whatever works for you, then you just do whatever you want, whatever works for you. It's easier for me to start on the left side so that I can start gauging where I need to put my other pieces, right? So I'm gonna move that right about there, and I'm gonna line these up, make sure I've got room. Yeah, so we should have enough room to get this on there. Okay, and then like I said earlier, some people do put the outside one down next, but I don't like to do that. I want to get my middle piece in there so then I can gauge it. This guy has to be right there, right? So that I know where my middle piece needs to go. So we'll put some glue on this guy. All right. So are you enjoying these cards? I'm glad you like the lime, Karen. I do too. It's just a bright color. It's not something, and it really pops. It pops with this paper is what it does really on the Mambo. I haven't used Mambo yet much lately, Melon Mambo. You know, you go in cycles, and it's all dependent on what the paper is that we're using, right? So those, if you're using Stampin' Up! Colors and cardstock and everything, you know, they kind of dictate the colors that we're going to use, right? So that's what we're doing. But I love Melon Mambo. I used to use it quite often, but we don't have that many papers, I don't think. I'm going to lay that right about there. I think we've got these pretty much spaced apart. And again, you know, we look at this more critical than our friends or family do that we send these cards to. So just keep that in mind. Right? Right. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to make this a birthday card, actually. And this is from this Sweetly Scripted. I love the fonts on these, and I love the fact that they've got all these little squiggly lines. And you can find this in the online store. It is Patty. Patty says it's a great way to use up our small leftover pieces. I have a little trash can that I got at the Dollar Tree or Target, like this. See these little cans? And for trash, but I use that and I store all my scraps in it. When I'm cutting, I throw them in the can, and then and I was just saying to myself, because I talk to myself all the time, that I need to empty it because it's time to make scrap cards because it's getting full. So that's what I do. When that can gets full, then I take the stuff out, and then I just sit down one afternoon or one morning or whatever, and make my cards. Okay, so I am going to use the Melon Mambo ink in the Happy Birthday, but I'm using the lemon lime twist. Now the lines obviously are going to be too long for what I'm doing, but I'm going to stamp it this way, and we've got ink on it. I'm just going to make sure we get enough ink, okay, which we should have. I'm going to move that out of the way. And then I'm going to bring in my white piece. And again, you all will measure based on whatever your sentiment is that you're using. And I'm going to pull this a little bit closer to me so that I can see what I'm doing. And I just want to get the happy birthday kind of in the center. And hopefully we've got enough on the lines on each side. I think that'll work. And there we go. Don't you just love this script? It's just so pretty. All right, let me move that out of the way. And then we're going to come in, and so I stamped it off so you don't know the difference, right? We're going to add that to that lemon lime twist. And then we'll pop this up with dimensionals. Okay, so let's get this little guy up. Put him on here. And put that like that. Isn't that pretty? I just love these colors. Have I said that before? Do y'all think I like these colors? And we're going to add 3 dimensionals. You could add more if you want, but I'm only going to put 3. All right, and then we're going to move this out of the way. And let's pull these little guys off, and then we're going to finish our envelope, and then I'll show you the cards again. We want to make sure this is, yep, we open that way. I'm going to place it, I like these flowers. I don't really want to, I don't know. Should I do it in the center, or should I come down a little bit? What do y'all think? I think I should put it there. That kind of hides the difference. See how these two don't really even up, which is fine. I think I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to put it right here. And we're going to have it off just a little bit. There we go. Perfecto. And I don't think we need anything. We could add some jewels to this if we wanted. Let's see. This is the, let's see if this works. This might be pretty. This is the Moody Mauve. Yeah, I think that'll look pretty. Let's do that. So let's put a little one there. We'll do little tiny ones because this is a little tiny piece of cardstock. And let's put one here. And how about if we put a medium size? Should we put it down here or up here? What do you think? Let's put it, what about right there? No? Should we put it on the paper? Now let's put it right here since I made a little booby thing. All right, there we go. All right, now we're going to add the inside to our card. We'll glue that down later. I'll do that later. All right, and then we're going to take our envelope and we're going to put our paper. This is the part, this is the side that I want to see. So I'm going to take my seal and we're going to go around the outside edges of the back flap of the envelope. Do y'all have been around long enough? Do y'all remember when we used to have the dies that we could cut paper to put inside, like liners? Do you remember those dies? I kept those things for a long time, and then for some reason I decided to sell them. All right, and then we're going to lay this on here. I always cut mine at 2 and I do 2 3/8. You can do 2 1/2 just to keep down, but I do 2 3/8, and that tends to give me enough. And I bring the paper right up to where the fold, you can see the score where the fold goes. And then just trim it off with your paper snips. And then you've really dressed up your card. And I'm sure the mail people really like delivering our cards when we do this, because they get to see pretty stuff and not plain old white and black and vanilla and whatever color the manila envelopes are. So let's just get this trimmed, and then I will go back and show you all the template one more time. And then I'll post this. This will be on my blog probably tomorrow. So if you want to go back and get all of the measurements, I'll have that on there, but give me time to do that. All right, now, isn't that pretty? Don't you not? Do you just love this? All right, so here are the cards that we did. Aren't they gorgeous? Let's put that one this way. Aren't they pretty? So that's what we've done today. I hope you all found this to be inspirational to help you. And let me show real quick, and then I'll leave this up in just a second. This is the sketch that we're using. I can post this to, I'll print it again and post it. I'll write a little bit better to give you the measurements so that it will be on here. But I'll go ahead and post this to the Facebook page as well. So here is the sketch. Again, if you're doing it in the portrait mode, your cardstock will be cut at 1 1/4 by 4 1/2, and you'll do 3. And then your designer paper will be 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then the centerpiece, depending on what you want to do, I cut the cardstock at 2 5/8 by 3 5/8, and then the basic white 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. All right, so there you all go. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for spending your time with me on Saturday. If you haven't already liked my Facebook page, please do so. And if you're on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and click the bell so you'll be notified next time I upload a video. All right, share on Facebook. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great Saturday, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday evening. Bye now.